Good evening, everyone. I see a couple of you have started to come into the room, so thank you so much for joining us this evening. I will give it a couple more seconds to see if anyone else joins us a little bit later. All right, so we will get started, and if anyone else joins us late, we can always catch them up with the information. But once again, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Keystone Virtual College Exploration for all Pennsylvania students. Just as a reminder and some housekeeping items, you will have the opportunity to sign up for additional sessions. We're in the final 2 weeks of our program. If you're interested, you can visit pacac.org/virtual. This session tonight will be recorded and it will be available on the PACAC website, along with all the other presentations that we've done so far. For tonight, your camera and your microphone have been turned off. However, you do have the opportunity to use the Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen if you wish to ask questions throughout the presentation. So please feel free to type questions into that chat at any time, and the panelists will answer them as they go along. This time I'm going to hand it over to RIT, and they may start their session. Enjoy.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Megan. So welcome, everybody. My name is Dan Hassis. Thank you for joining our session today. I am an admissions counselor from the Rochester Institute of Technology, or RIT. I'm a native of Rochester, and I've been in my current role for about 3 years now. Each admissions counselor in our office covers a different territory or a region of the country. So my recruitment territory is Western New York, Ohio, and also all of Western Pennsylvania. So if you're from the Erie area or through the Pittsburgh area, I'm actually your admissions counselor. And then I'm also here with my colleague Salvatore Mazzera today, and I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Salvatore Mazzera. As Dan said, I am an admissions counselor also in the undergraduate office at RIT. I get the eastern portion of Pennsylvania, and then I also have New Jersey and all of Delaware. So any of those states, I'm your admissions counselor if you have any questions or any concerns. So tonight's structure, I know Melissa said about the kind of how it's going to work, but if you do have any questions during the presentation, just use the Q&A function on the Zoom. We'll try to get to them either during the presentation or right after, when we also have a student panel and then also a live Q&A. So I will pass it back to Dan. He's going to do the first half of the presentation, and then I'm going to do the second half.
Great. Perfect. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. There we go. So RIT is known as the Rochester Institute of Technology. Our main campus is located in Rochester, New York. So we're kind of in upstate, more Western New York. We're about an hour east of Buffalo, about an hour west of Syracuse. We're about 4 hours from Pittsburgh, and say approximately about 5 or so hours from like Philadelphia area approximately. Our main campus is home to more than 16,000 total students, including approximately 13,700 undergraduate students. So if you include total enrollment of our main campus along with our international campuses in China, Croatia, Kosovo, and Dubai, our total student enrollment is close to 19,000 total students, which makes us one of the largest private universities in the country. We have students from every single state in the country, along with more than 90 countries across the world as well. We have over 2,600 international students, over 2,000 students who identify as African American, Latin American, or Native American. Also at RIT, we are home to the National Technical Institute for the Deaf. So we have over 1,000 students that are either deaf or hard of hearing that are incorporated within that college, within RIT. And you will frequently see people use American Sign Language around campus. Also, we have interpreters and closed captioning are used in all of our classes and at our events as well. Even though we have a little more of a medium to larger school population, we still have a smaller school feel within the classroom. We still have an average class size of about 22 and a student to faculty ratio of 13:1. Along with that, all of our classes are faculty taught. We do have graduate assistants and teaching assistants that may assist our professors. However, all the classes and all the instruction will be led by faculty members. So it's a nice little balance between a larger school experience outside the classroom, but a much smaller school experience within the classroom. All right, so RIT is home to 9 academic colleges, including the NTID. We offer close to 90 different degree programs. So we have programs in everything from engineering to computing to game design to science to engineering technology to health sciences. And then also we have degree programs within the fields of design, art, film and animation, photography, liberal arts, and business as well. So we have a very wide variety of STEM and non-STEM majors, which allows our students to make some unique combinations of majors and minors, double majors, or even they have the opportunity to design their own major through our School of Individualized Study as well. And then along with that, for students that are interested in pursuing a master's degree, we have more than 40 accelerated dual degree programs where students can do just that, earn both a bachelor's and a master's in their time in RIT. And it's typically scheduled to do that with just an additional year of study. So if you are interested in earning a master's, you can potentially do so at RIT with just one additional year, along with earning your bachelor's as well. So there's really a wide variety of options in regards to fields and degree programs that we have available to you, and definitely something to look more into as well, depending on what your interests are. Every one of our degree programs places a really strong focus on experiential learning or experiential education, and it can consist of multiple and take many forms. This can be incorporated, such as a couple examples include undergraduate research, entrepreneurship, senior capstone projects, study abroad experiences, community service, clinical experiences, lab and studio-based process, and even internships as well. However, the one thing we are best known for is our cooperative education program, or co-op for short. So when you hear co-op, think of that of an internship. It's kind of like a form of internship, except where internships can be full-time or part-time, or they could be paid or unpaid. Our co-ops, or the co-ops that our students complete, are always full-time paid professional work experiences. RIT has one of the oldest and one of the largest co-op programs in the country, and we have over 3,400 employment partners across all 50 states and even 30 countries internationally as well. So when students are completing their co-op, they may not be doing so in the Rochester area. They can if they would like, or if they want to do something closer to home or in a different state or in a different coast or even a different country, that's completely available to them as well. A good thing to note about the co-op is when you're out on co-op, you're not paying tuition. When you're on a co-op, you're just mainly focusing on completing that co-op requirement for the company and for the role that you're completing for your major. So you're not paying any sort of tuition, you're not taking any sort of classes. It's specifically meant for time to you to gain that firsthand experience within your job field, within the industry that you're looking to potentially work within as well. Our career services and cooperative education office hosts several career fairs throughout the academic year. We have 2 rather large academic or co-op fairs that take place once in the fall semester, once in the spring semester. But then we also have several other smaller fairs throughout the year as well, targeted for specific academic areas. So for instance, we even have a creative industry day for students within the College of Art and Design. So those art and design programs and programs within photography and film and animation. And then we also even have a specific co-op or a specific career fair for our packaging science students as well. So there really is no shortage of opportunities to connect with partner companies within the industries that you might want to work within, or companies that are related to the program you're getting your degree in as well. This can give you just a sample of the schedule. So the co-op requirements vary depending on major. They can be anything from completely optional all the way up to a full year of co-op. Again, when you're out on co-op, you're not paying any sort of tuition. If you are in a major in something like engineering or engineering technology, or a couple of the majors within the College of Computing, you might be required to complete that 1 year of co-op, but it will still only cost you 4 years of tuition. And as you can see from the sample schedule, it'll just be spread out throughout your time, throughout that 5-year span. So you'll still only pay for 4 years of tuition. It'll just be spread out throughout that 5-year span. And then you can see if you have a smaller amount of co-op requirement, it'll just be likely incorporated within the summers, and you'll likely still be able to complete your degree program within a typical 4-year fashion. So it gives you a little bit of just kind of what the sample schedule could potentially look like, depending on what the requirement is for your specific major. A couple of things before we finish up in regards to co-op, just to make note in regards to the benefits. So again, as you can see from the sample schedules, when you're taking the co-ops, it's incorporated within your degree program. So you have an opportunity to apply what you're learning in the classroom to your full-time position while it's still fresh in your mind. So it's not completed at the very end, it's incorporated within your degree program. Another thing to note is co-ops can help students confirm that they've chosen the right field of study. You may learn through your co-op experience that you might want to change your focus or even change your major. And it really is better to realize that earlier on while you're still in college instead of after you graduate. So co-ops are a great resource, a great benefit for that as well. In addition to that, you obviously have an opportunity to network within professionals or with professionals within the industry, within whatever area you're looking to work within. So you can continue to build up your resume while you're still an undergraduate student through these different co-op positions. And lastly, remember, it's always paid experience as well. So you're actually being paid to work within your industry, and that money is going directly to you. Again, you're not paying tuition. You're not taking classes. All that money is yours, and you get to choose what you like to do with it. Because we know our co-op program has a strong correlation with our overall outcome rate of nearly 94%. So we do survey our graduates within 6 months of graduating every year. So we have pretty strong outcome rates. You can see 94% that incorporates students that are fully employed within their field of study or within their industry, or pursuing some sort of full-time graduate study, or also alternative plans like Peace Corps, Teach Across America, or military service as well. We have a couple of companies listed in regards to employer partners, but if you're looking for something more specific or want to look more in depth, maybe based on major, a great website to utilize is that joboutlook.ret.edu website listed right there. You can search by major, you can search by program, by college, and see much more information in regards to partner companies, companies that students have been hired to, what roles they've been hired as well. And you can also see information in regards to full-time salary and part-time salary and co-op salary as well. Co-op is just one aspect of experiential learning. Excuse me. But research is obviously another one as well, and it's very readily available at RIT. Even though we take pride in our co-op program, RIT offers plenty of opportunities in regards to undergraduate research. You can begin to do research as soon as you step foot on campus. And a good thing to note is it's not just completed by students within our science majors. There are research opportunities for undergraduate students in each of RIT's colleges, and you can see some of them are listed right on the screen, such as photonics or cybersecurity and many others as well. Like I mentioned before, you can also begin to do research as soon as you step foot on campus. And if you're not sure where to start, biggest recommendation would be to reach out to your faculty members and professors, because they likely either are doing research themselves or know about other research that's currently going on campus that might need some assistance. So big thing to understand, if you're interested in completing some sort of research, you can begin doing so as soon as you step foot on campus at RIT. Another aspect of experiential learning is the global aspect. So you can incorporate this through multiple different fashions. One is just a study abroad experience, and you can do so even at an RIT campus. Like I mentioned before, we do have 6 international campuses, 2 in China, 2 in Croatia, 1 in Kosovo, and 1 in Dubai. And if you're interested in doing a abroad experience, but maybe not in one of these countries, you can do so in over 50 countries across the world as well, as we do have a pretty extensive study abroad program in addition. Students can also complete they do a abroad experience during an entire semester. They can complete an accelerated, more faculty-led abroad experience for class credit that they might take over a winter break or a summer break. They can also do a service abroad experience, or even the work abroad experience that I mentioned before, in regards to incorporating their co-op abroad too. So there's plenty of opportunities within that sense as well. So one of the most unique parts of RIT is the extensive student involvement, innovation, entrepreneurship, with the guidance of professional mentors and access to facilities like the Student Incubator or the Simone Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and the Construct, which is actually our all-access makerspace. RIT students have the support they need to really bring their ideas to reality. So this is readily available for all of our students. There's outstanding facilities that they can take advantage of, and utilize throughout their time at RIT as well. And then we also have different facilities that are set to go up. One that's not pictured on the slide is actually our Magic Spell Studio. So Magic stands for Media, Arts, Gaming, Interaction, and Creativity. So we have a brand new facility that just opened in 2018, and it's a hub for digital media students in our schools of design, film and animation, and interactive games and media. So one benefit of that facility is there's a 7,000 square foot soundstage. There's virtual reality labs, stop motion animation, and also professional sound mixing and color correction studios as well. We recently received a donation from an alumnus, Austin McCord, who is the founder of Data, which is a computing security company. He decided he wanted his alma mater. So he donated $50 million just a couple of years back. So thanks to his generosity, we actually just opened up our brand new facility, the Global Cybersecurity Institute, this past fall, based around the fields of cybersecurity. And then we also have another new facility set to go up in the next couple of years, the Innovative Maker and Learning Complex of the future as well. So thanks to him, we do have a couple of other additional facilities that are set to go up over the next few years. All right, so we talked about academics and experiential education, but now we'll change it up and talk about what you can expect outside of the classroom. So there really is a ton for our students to do on campus, and they really are never bored. We have over 300 different active clubs ranging from academics to religious to environmental to multicultural to athletic to artistic and much more. We host more than 1,300 events annually that are student-run events each year, and students can join, also have the opportunity in Greek life, which roughly 10% of our student body participates in. So if there is something that you're interested in, some sort of activity or some just interest that you have, odds are we have a club for it. And if we don't have one, you can start one with just 10 students and a faculty member as an advisor as well. So there's really nothing that we really don't have a club in within. And if there is, you're more than welcome to start one as a student at RIT too. In addition to that, we also do have varsity sports. We have 24 varsity sports at RIT. We are Division I in men's and women's ice hockey, and then we are Division III in the rest of our sports. If you are interested in competing in a varsity sport, our biggest recommendation would be to reach out to the coach directly through the through the RIT Athletics website. And there's also a student athlete recruitment questionnaire you can fill out as well. And then if you're interested in pursuing a sport, but maybe not the varsity level, we do have a long list of club, intramural, and recreational activities that students can get involved in. This includes different things like dodgeball, Quidditch, Humans versus Zombies, which is actually a giant game of tag that takes place also all throughout campus using Nerf blasters. And then we even have our own rock climbing gym on campus called the Red Barns. So in addition to this, we also are very into our esports population at RIT, and we've won several national championships in things such as Hearthstone and also Drop Zone as well. Another field that we're looking to continue to grow at RIT is a field that our current president, Dr. David Munson, has an affinity for the performing arts, and his goal is for RIT to become the largest performing arts school for non-majors. So in this focus, we have a couple of new facilities that are set to go up over the next couple of years, and we also even have a performing arts scholarship that students can apply for as well. So if you're interested in continuing to do performing arts during your free time at college, RIT is a great place for that as well. All right, so now going into just campus life. RIT, we have a residential campus. Like I mentioned before, we're about 6 miles outside of the city of Rochester. So we have a little bit more of a residential campus. We're in a suburb of Rochester known as Henrietta, New York. But we offer a mix of residence halls, suites, apartments. Students outside of 30 miles of campus are required to live on campus their first year. But once you get beyond the first year, you're no longer required to live on campus. Within the residence halls, we do have different special interest houses, different academic and lifestyle floors that are available to make our students just feel most comfortable during their time at RIT. We offer a wide range of dining options really across campus, as you'd expect with a university as large as ours. We have different options known as Gracie's, which is our main dining hall, Global Grill and Markets, several different coffee shops, Salsaritas, and then we even have our own student-run restaurant known as Henry's. In addition to that, so then one also just fun fact: we are home to the only Ben & Jerry's ice cream scoop shop in the Rochester area as well. And then just a few other kind of facilities or resources you can take advantage of. We have 2 different fitness centers. We have different laundry that's available. It's completely free for our students, different computer labs, game rooms, and then additional services such as health center, counseling center, disability services office, and different student support services as well that students take advantage of in addition. Then just to give you some general information about Rochester itself. So it is the 3rd largest city in New York State. So we're just behind Buffalo and obviously far behind New York City, but it's very active and there's always usually something going on, but it's definitely not overly dense. It takes 20 minutes really to get anywhere throughout the greater Rochester area. So if there's something you want to do that's off campus, you can take advantage of it, and it's pretty easy to get throughout the area and throughout the greater Rochester area as well. Typically there are different performing arts events that are going on. So if you're interested in music or theater and different festivals, we usually have those going on. Obviously with everything going on, those have not gone on as frequently. We are also a minor league sports city as well. And we do also have many other different local attractions available too. We're just south of Lake Ontario. We have different ski resorts within about an hour of Rochester. So there really is a ton to do both on campus, but then also off campus as well. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sal to take you through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Dan. So I'm going to be talking about now the application process, what we look for in an applicant, and different admissions deadlines that RIT has. So the first item on your screen is if you're applying to RIT, there's 3 different ways you can do it. The first way is the green bar, and that's you apply directly to a major. So if you know exactly what you want to study, then you can apply directly to it, and you can list up to 3 choices on your application. So, if you have a number 1 choice, a number 2, a number 3, list them in order of preference, and we'll review your application for those interests. If you know you want to study photojournalism, management information systems, mechanical engineering, then you apply directly to that major. Now, if you're a student that has narrowed it down to one of our academic colleges, but is not sure exactly what major you want to study, then we do have a college-based exploration option. They're a great option for students. So say you have narrowed it down that you want to study engineering. So you can apply to engineering exploration. You can take your first semester and your first year, and you can learn about all the different majors within that college. You attend a seminar by the department heads of each major that say, or tell you, this is what students are working on. This is the careers they're going to have when they graduate and the companies they're going to co-op and work for. So really you get to go to college, learn more about the majors within that college, and then decide what you want to study. So, same thing with most of our colleges at RIT have this exploration major that you can apply to, and it gives you time on campus to learn about all the different majors, then go into the major you want to study. The last option, which is the purple bar on your screen, is university exploration. So if you're a student that is 50-50 between 2 or more colleges, maybe you're in between business and design, and you're not sure which direction to take, then you can apply to university exploration. You will go through the first semester of first year with classes and a program tailored around your interests. So, you'll have one design, maybe one business class, and then again, you'll go to these different seminars to learn about different majors and then choose what you want to study after your first semester or first year. Based on graduation rates with the university exploration or the college-based exploration options, you still graduate on time. So, coming out of high school, trying to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, it's not an easy task. So these exploration options are really great. You can start exploring your first year at college, then decide what direction you want to go to. But then again, of course, there's majors that, I've always wanted to study mechanical engineering, and I know that you can apply then directly to the major. So we do have a lot of options for students with the application process. All right, and then RIT is differential admission in the admissions process. So you may be asking, what is differential admissions? So differential admissions means we look for different things depending on what you apply for. So, given the diversity of our academic programs, it makes sense for us to evaluate candidates by major or exploration option that you put on your application. So for example, we're looking for something far different for a software engineering candidate than what we're looking for in a studio arts candidate. So we take that into account when reviewing your application. We also practice differential admission because we want to ensure a high quality experience in your major. So, we want your class sizes to not be too large, ensure you have opportunities to use labs and facilities, equipment, build relationships with your professors, and be able to have as many opportunities as possible for co-ops that Dan talked about, internships, and research opportunities. So, that is one of the many reasons we practice differential admissions. And on your screen that you can see now, you'll see the middle 50% also of high school GPA of accepted applicants of the last class. You'll also see the middle 50% of SAT and ACT scores. ACT and SAT from this fall onward are optional. So this just gives you a basis though. If you do take the test and you do well, we do recommend that you submit it, but it is not required. We know a lot of students with this pandemic, the test has been canceled rescheduled multiple times. So if you haven't been able to take it, it's no worries. But if you did and you did well, we do recommend submitting it. So during the admission and application process, we look at a lot of different factors and we take that differential admissions approach into the review. And we also take a holistic approach. So everything listed on the screen, we look at in your application review. The one thing that is weighted the most is your high school record. So we look at your overall GPA, we look at your rank, but a lot of high schools are getting away from rank. So if it's not provided, no problem. And then we do look at rigor and content of coursework. So that kind of exemplifies the differential admission that we take. So, if you're applying for that engineering, computing, College of Science, we're going to look at your math and science courses a little bit more, and we're going to look to see if you're challenging yourself. So, if your high school offers honors, AP, IB higher level, dual enrollment, that's great. Those are great courses to take and also help you with admission. So your high school record is a big part of the application review. Standardized tests, again, are optional. The only time they're not optional is if you want to go into the RIT SUNY Upstate Medical University Accelerated Scholars Program. So you will need SAT and ACT scores. That's a direct entry into medical school. So that program is the only thing at RIT that requires test scores. Everything else is optional. We do require a letter of recommendation from your counselor. And then so we require just the one letter and we'll review your application. But students usually on average submit about 2 to 4 letters of recommendation. So, you might have a teacher who really knows you well, a coach, you may have to work a part-time job. So an employer might submit a letter of recommendation also. And then activities, interests, and awards. I always tell students, list everything you've been involved with. Don't be humble. So it can help you with getting a scholarship or also admission into a college or university. And then essay, you do have to submit an essay as part of your application. We do not have a specific question that you have to answer. So whatever essay you've written for us is perfect. And then for any students who are applying to the School of Art, Design, or Film and Animation, a portfolio is required. The portfolio requirements are right on our website, so I recommend checking that out. Just so that because based on different majors, we look for different things and want different materials submitted for the portfolio. So, we do take a holistic approach. We look at everything that's listed on the screen, but again, SAT and ACT are optional, and high school record does weigh a little bit more in the application review process. Now we have 3 decision deadlines to RIT. Regular decision is like most colleges and universities. You're going to see January 15th. For our other plans, we have early decision 1 and 2, which is November 1st and January 1st. Early decision is for if RIT is your number 1 choice. So, if you're looking at 5, 10 colleges, however it may be, and you get into all of them, including RIT, you're going to RIT. It's your number 1 school. The benefits of early decision are, one's obvious, you get an earlier decision, but then you also get a higher acceptance rate. So the early decision pools are smaller applicant pools. You're indicating RIT is your number 1 choice. And therefore we have a higher acceptance rate with those early decision plans. Now it is a binding agreement, but we are friendly. So what that means is if you do not get your number 1 choice major, so say you get admitted in early decision to your 2nd or 3rd choice that you listed, you can back out of the early decision plan. The other option is which I think is more important, if you get a scholarship and financial aid package and it's not enough to attend RIT, you can back out of the early decision agreements. So it's binding but friendly. If you don't get enough money, you don't get your first choice major, you can back out of it. But I do recommend it if RIT is your number 1 school. That's really what it's for, because you will hear from RIT before other schools. So I know I mentioned financial aid and scholarships. Every applicant to RIT that completes a full application, like submit your transcripts and everything, you're automatically reviewed for a merit-based scholarship. So you don't have to submit another application, you're automatically reviewed for scholarships. I know Dan mentioned a large emphasis at RIT with performing arts. So we also do have a performing arts specific scholarship that you can apply to. and that's evaluated based on a digital audition. That information is right on our website. But if you are a senior applying this year and you're in the performing arts, I do recommend submitting that audition because that can be stacked with any other merit-based scholarships you get. And then need-based aid, you fill out the FAFSA for you and your dependents or your parents, and you get any like grants, loans, or any state eligibility that's available to you. We do recommend just filling out the FAFSA by the deadline you apply by so that you get your financial aid scholarship package all in a timely manner. But RIT tries to give as much financial aid and scholarship as we can. And whether you apply early decision or regular decision, you will get a breakdown of the cost of RIT minus scholarships, grants, loans. So you get a full picture before having to commit to the university. All right, perfect. So kind of the last part of this presentation, I would like to mention RIT and what's going on with the current situation and pandemic we're in. So most students are on campus in-person classes, but they may have like a hybrid schedule. So, you know, they may have 5 classes a semester. Some of them are virtual, and then some of them are in person. So that is an important component of so many of our majors, like that experiential learning, that hands-on learning. So students are able to continue that this semester, and it's been going really well. You know, faculty have been really flexible with students, and students have been adhering to all the different policies by New York State and RIT. So it's been going really well this whole semester, and we have about a month left. So due to that, we do have on-campus tours at RIT. If you would like to visit and you have the resources to come up to Rochester, New York, I just recommend scheduling a visit ahead of time. So the tours are small because of the pandemic and the different regulations. So just schedule a campus tour before you come up. And then we do have ongoing virtual options for students. There is actually a virtual tour that you can take online, and it's student led. So it's led by one of our amazing ambassadors. So they could be future yous. They can answer questions for you that you may have about RIT and take you virtually around campus. And then we do have also virtual open house. So this is a program that's really, really great because it really goes into the major of your interest. So that we just had one in October. We do have another one in November, and you can register at rit.edu/open house for that event. So at this time, that's kind of the end of our presentation, but we're going to open it up for any question and answers that anyone may have. You can use the Q&A function on this Zoom, and we'll answer any of them that you input. And if you do have any questions that arise kind of down the road, or they're more specific questions, you can always email them to myself or Dan, and our emails are right on the screen. And we also do have a student panel today. So we have RIT students with us. So let's first start by introducing our students that we have with us, just in case you do have any questions for them. So if Abigail, Anna, Will, and Michael can just introduce themselves, just say your major, your hometown, and your year level, and that'd be great. Thanks, guys.
All right, so I guess I'll start. My name is Will. I'm a 4th year MIS major, and I'm from Honeyray Falls, New York. So it's pretty close to Henrietta.
I'll go next. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a 4th year in the photography program, specifically on the photojournalism track, and I'm from Westchester, PA, which is right outside of Philly.
Hi, my name is Mike Healy. I'm a 3rd year biomedical science student. I'm from Hilton, New York, so about half an hour away from RIT.
And then, hi, my name is Abigail Rigner. I'm a 2nd year mechanical engineering major, and I'm from Boyertown, Pennsylvania. So between the middle of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia.
Nice, awesome. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to start out with a question for the students. For the students who have completed a co-op, research, or internship, can you just please elaborate on these experiences with RIT? Because it is a big factor of an RIT education.
Yeah, so I actually, I did a co-op in a different major than what I'm in now as a 2nd year at Rochester Regional Health. So it was nearby. They do a lot of they hire a lot of RIT co-ops. So RIT had a really great reputation with Rochester Regional Health. So I met them at the career fair, really hit it off. And then I got my co-op position there. And I was actually in a different major. And I know Dan mentioned that it's a really good idea. Co-op is really great because you can figure out whether or not you enjoy the work you're doing before you graduate. So I was hired as a software engineer, and I later decided by doing the co-op that I wanted to choose a different career path. So then I transferred into MIS. So that was a really big benefit of doing the co-op rather than graduating and realizing I didn't want to be a developer. I got to figure that out while I was in college with co-op.
I'll talk on that too. I do not certainly co-op, but clinical hours, which RIT helps out with too. So I work at Rochester General Hospital. So I work in the emergency department. So same thing with Rochester Regional Health. So through that, I'm doing my clinical hours. I'm trying to get as much clinical experience I can to eventually apply to med school. So that was very helpful with RIT. It helped me get that clinical experience for me to push myself further in my career.
So I've completed an internship this past summer. I interned with GE Aviation remotely, and I got to learn a lot about the aviation industry, even after just my freshman year, and not just the industry, but of course, like the thermodynamics and the different types of engineering processes that go into making jet engines. I pretty quickly learned that commercial aviation wasn't really the field that I wanted to be in. So I've got it lined up for this summer. I'll be interning with NASA at their Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I'll be working on a data sampling collection for Europa. So I'm really excited about that, and definitely the experience in classes at RIT. I don't think I would have been able to do that as early as I am without RIT and all the help that they've given.
You guys have had some awesome experiences, with co-op and also research with nearby hospitals in the area. It's really an important part of an education at RIT. Can you guys also share, it is a bigger school. We're medium to large university, as Dan mentioned. So can you share with us in your involvement in clubs, organizations, performing arts, or athletics in that experience at RIT?
Yeah, I can talk on that a little bit. So I was a dancer in high school. So being able to continue dancing for my first couple years of college was kind of a big deal for me. So I was a part of the NTID Performing Arts group, as well as a dance team on campus called Velocity. So that was pretty cool to be able to be part of that and to continue dancing. Now I am on the e-board for 2 different clubs. So I'm the president for the National Press Photographers Association, which is like the professional photojournalism organization. And I'm also the vice president external for an organization called Iridescence, which is like an Asian interest organization focused on like women empowerment and that kind of thing. So yeah, those have been, really important to me throughout my last couple of years. Being a part of the NPPA specifically has been really good, just because, it does kind of allow us as photojournalism students to, not just like work on professional development, but also like to become friends and like to help each other, like with different projects that we're working on. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been involved in the past 4 years.
I can speak a little as well. So I do the Performing Arts Scholarship Program. I believe I was in the first year that they did the scholarships, so did last year. So I played violin in high school. I wouldn't really consider myself particularly talented or really good. But one of the things RIT just kind of recommended in general that like, hey, you put this on your application that you play violin, just apply for this scholarship. So I didn't really expect anything out of it, and I was really surprised when I was granted the scholarship. So I do participate in the orchestra here, and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I also am on the RIT Formula SAE team. So we're the team that builds race car every year. So right now it's just kind of battling COVID and but that's definitely an experience that I think like project teams in general are really good if you want to get really more competitive co-ops or internships. I think employers value work outside of the classroom that's applied a lot. And then I am the president of the Native American Student Association, and RIT does a great job of connecting us to the local tribal communities around Rochester.
Thanks for sharing. And yeah, the main focuses of RIT is that experiential learning, rather research or co-op, and then different clubs, activities, and different things you can get involved with. So it's great to hear from students' experiences with RIT. Another thing that I think is a big aspect of the university is we're a bigger school, but we have smaller class sizes. So if you guys can kind of talk about your experience with classroom size, close-knit community, your relationship with your professors if you need help, and then maybe even a little bit of like how the pandemic's affecting that this last semester too. So kind of class size and relationship with professors.
I'm in a really small major, so I can talk about that a little bit. So I will be graduating in May with a class of 11. So myself and 10 other students have been in the same major for the past 4 years. So that's been really great, being in such a small class and having 4 professors that are designated for our program has really allowed us to be able to get the kind of education that we really want. So our professors really focus on each of us individually and kind of helping us figure out exactly what we want to do with photojournalism, because it's such a broad spectrum of things that fall under that industry. So being in such a small graduating class has been really beneficial for me. As for any sort of larger lecture classes, honestly, I think the biggest class I've ever taken was maybe 80 students. And with a class of 80 students in a lecture hall that fits 300 people, it really doesn't feel like that many people. So honestly, I've never really felt my professors didn't know who I was or anything like that, or felt kind of confused or just lost in any of that kind of stuff, especially because so many of the professors at RIT really push for office hours and that kind of thing. So definitely, the professors do a really good job of making us feel like the university is smaller than it is.
I'll say I have a mix of large classes and small classes too at RIT. So for more of my professional classes, in my major, we have about around 20 students per class. So you get to really connect with your professors and connect with all the students in your class. And then also on my first 2 years when we were taking the biology classes, chemistry classes, you have about 100 students in those classes. But still, with those amount of students in the class, you can still connect with your professor and you still connected with a lot of the students around you. So it never really felt like that big of a class, even though the lecture hall was filled. So it's really deep connections. You can also meet different professors to find different research opportunities, and you can also talk with them one-on-one in the office hours, and you can really get to know them. They can get to know you and find out what path you want to take down the road.
Perfect. That's helpful information. And then we did have a question that just came through, and I think it's a good one to just address to the group. They kind of asked about dual enrollment credit. So we do take dual enrollment credit. If you get a C or better, and most classes will come in and transfer to RIT. So you just get a transcript from the college or university or community college you attended. And then we also do take IB higher level credit. We do take also AP credit, mostly with a 4 or higher, but sometimes even a 3 will get you credit. So it can really free up your schedule to take a minor, take an immersion or a concentration at RIT. So it gives you that flexibility within your schedule and with your academic advisor. So I know we do have around you have about a minute or 2 left of the presentation with a just time limit on the PACAC presentation. So I'll just ask one last question, if kind of each student, could just answer, but maybe go back in time, and any advice for, students looking at colleges and what you found important and what had you, choose RIT or go to RIT.
I would say what made me come to RIT is everything that RIT has to offer. I was between, I really wanted to go medical, but then I also had a little bit of possibly going engineering, two different things. But no matter what type of field you want to get into, no matter what type of interest you have, RIT has everything to offer. And so that's one thing I looked at based on every other colleges I looked at around the nation. And RIT is the one that stuck out and which resonated with me the most.
I would say if I were to talk to myself like in my senior year of high school, I would just like tell myself to keep my mind open to like colleges and universities and stuff. RIT was actually at the probably like closer to the bottom of my list of like school choices because I really wanted to be like in a big city. Like I wanted to move to like Manhattan or somewhere like that. So I wasn't really looking at RIT. I definitely wasn't considering upstate New York. But you know, after I came and like visited the school and everything and talked to the professors and met some of the students, like I was really, really like interested. And obviously I'm here 4 years later, so it worked. So yeah, I would just tell myself to kind of, you know, keep my mind open, you know, to different places and different things because, you know, you never know like what is actually going to be the right place for you.
I'd say what drew me in a lot was that a lot of the programs like say MIS do have a pretty high ranking, but also the co-op program was a big thing for me because I knew that I had friends that had gone to RIT that attended the career fair and talked about how helpful that was to meet with employers while they were still in college and get that work experience. So that was a huge thing for me. And I also really enjoy hockey.
I think one thing that is important to keep in mind with the college admissions process, I would say try, if you can, to not put like a price tag on how many colleges you apply to, because in the end, it's going to be a lot nicer if you have a wider selection of colleges to choose from that you were accepted to than just like one or two, because that's kind of what happened to me and I felt really stuck. I was like, I wish I had more options. And then just kind of comparatively to Pennsylvania, this was kind of like my pro tip. I think RIT is very similar to Drexel. So if you're interested in Drexel, I think you should check out RIT as well, because I think there's a lot of similarities between the two. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Perfect. Thank you guys. You guys, awesome advice and different, you know, recommendations and experiences with RIT. So we appreciate you guys answering questions and taking time out of your night. We also appreciate the attendees to the presentation and PACAC for having this meeting and platform for us. If you do have any questions, if you got our email, you know, you can just send us an email, don't hesitate. And RIT admissions email, the general one is admissions@rit.edu. So thanks a lot for sharing some time out of your night, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Take care.
Thank you, presenters. Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge tonight. The students and families, thank you again for attending. We appreciate you taking the time to just hang out with us on a Wednesday evening. As you close the window, you will get a quick 4-question survey. So we do ask for your feedback and encourage you to sign up for additional PACAC sessions. You can check out all the recordings right on the PACAC website. And this one will be up about a week later. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you, RIT, and everybody have a lovely evening.